And so the missing season is we have two financial lives. And the second one starts the day you realize you only have one financial life.
As usual, Dion has told me I'm wrong. This is not a new experience. Dion often brings the fire and tells either myself or Matt, one of us is wrong weekly. This is my week. So, Dion, you've told me I have a missing season in my 4 seasons. What is it?
Well, I think I came off wrong would be incorrect. That's not the intended statement.
That's
I
okay.
said,
I don't
I
mind.
heard your 4 seasons in your daily update and I love it. I think there's a missing one. That's how it came out. So people know I don't attack my friends. I mean, Matt's actually wrong when he's wrong.
I was going to say, Zoom's wrong like once a quarter. I take the weekly lump. It's okay.
And but before I go over it, can you go through like the 4 seasons and just kind of clarify in steps? Because maybe I just, because when I'm listening to the morning update, I'm also trying not to take another nap. But
I got you. This is important because if there is a missing one, I want to know, because this might be another book. This might be a big thing to me. So that's why I keep putting it out there, playing with it, twisting on it. So the 4 seasons really are pretty simple. You're born, and for some length of time, somebody else is responsible for taking care of you. Shelter, food, safety, all of that. For some of us, that's 18. For some of us, that's 16. Some of us, that's 32. Whatever, right? The beauty of these seasons is they're not a number. It's a season. Sometimes they're long, sometimes they're short. So that's season 1. Season 2 is when you finally get out from underneath that and you are now responsible for yourself, right? You are making your own money. You're making your own decisions. You're paying your own bill. You're not relying on others to take care of you. And again, season 2, I now call it kind of the grind mode. This is when you are building whatever you want. For some of you, that's going to be working 40 hours for 40 years to live on 40%, right? For some of you, you've been indoctrinated that you've got to work till you're 65. For some of us, we have decided that we want out of this grind mode as soon as possible. Some of us get out at 40, some at 45, maybe some in the 30s. But season 2 is when you're grinding and you're working and hopefully saving and investing. Season 3, again, this may occur in your 30s, may occur in your 60s. But this is where you have enough assets where you are free to make nearly any choice you want. You are no longer worried about selling hours. To be clear, you might choose to work. You might choose, and that's okay. But you are still in season 3 because now you have optionality. You can pull the whole I don't want to show up card, right? You have that show up. And then if you are lucky enough to live long enough, season 4 is where health deteriorates, where dementia or these other things set in and somebody else has to take care of you, right? You are not guaranteed all 4 seasons, right? Accidents happen, stuff happens. But if you are lucky enough to live long enough, my hope is you experience all 4 seasons. So that's, Dion, that's the 4 seasons. Before I go to you, tell me what's missing. Matt, what do you feel about those 4?
Yeah, it's, and like you said, results may vary. It's like a rearview mirror. Things may seem closer than they appear. And that's absolutely it. There's a lot of people that look across the board and say, I'm good 40 for 40. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, whatever. Cool.
If you choose it, I'm God bless.
I like going and seeing the same face at places that I frequent. And that takes somebody choosing to do that. So I'm totally fine with that. But I think that really nails it. I think there's no, well, you're doing it wrong. It's what is your goal? And if your goal is, I want to retire in my 30s, then you're probably doing it wrong. Right. And that's the key is what does it take to then jump that season and get through it as fast as possible?
Yeah. And one more time before I go back to Dion, the whole goal of my conversation is really 2 and 3, right? Season 1 can't really do much about. Season 4 can't do much about. It's all about season 2. And I want my audience to realize is you can choose to shrink season 2 and have a kick-ass long season 3. That's what I want people to think about is how can I make season 3 the longest? But okay, Dion, where's number 5?
So with love, like friendship, whatever, Matt, attack me for using the L word. I love Mike and I want him to succeed. And I want his book to be great. And so I don't want to say that you did anything wrong. I want to say, here's the missing season. And this is why I think I was a really good CDL instructor, and I was really good at training CDL instructors to be teachers.
Taking
It's
notes.
really hard to remember what it's like to not know something. And the three of us have reached financial freedom. So you have that first phase, parents take care of you. You have the second phase where you grind and you make sure that your retirement is going to be better or possible. And then you want season 3 to be as long as possible. And then season 4 happens where someone else takes care of us. And if you're like me, I want it to be a paid professional, because I saw how my kids took care of pets. I don't want it to be friends and family. I want it to be somebody that knows what they're doing.
Don't worry, the toilet can't take you. It's okay.
Here's the missing season. And 48% of Americans between the age of 55 and 65 missed this season. You went right from your parents take care of you to grind mode. I moved out at 15. As soon as I got a car permit, I was out of the house. And then Marine Corps, truck driver, law enforcement, raise kids, have a wife, zero save for retirement, not planning for decades, planning for weekends, letting my spouse handle the finances, which worked out great. And having absolutely nothing, making it to 40, pretty much never having $1,000 in the bank. Nothing saved for retirement. 2 pensions and a Marine Corps pension, downsized after Desert Storm, law enforcement downsized after the 2008 housing crash, nothing. And then all of a sudden I woke up and I said, oh, I better enter grind mode. So there's a better term than F off years. If you talk to, now let's take Cody Davis out of the picture, right? How many 20-year-olds are buying rentals?
Right.
Are thinking are not out protesting on a college campus saying it's impossible to buy a house, the world is ending. There's a few Codys out there and Christians and Caleb's that are, young and out there and motivated hard chargers. But beyond the vast majority, whatever that denominator is, has decades where they do nothing. They have, 37% don't save for retirement, period. And that's the ones who have the companies that have an option of giving you a retirement account. So there's the people work at places that don't, or entrepreneurs that don't. I have a brother runs a tree company. He's never paid into Social Security. He's never paid into, I'm sure he pays his taxes if the IRS is listening, but I mean, he's just going to work until he dies. And that's not the brother who retired with rentals. I've got a few brothers. And so you definitely didn't do anything wrong, Mike. You knew, you got, okay, I'm gonna get a job and work toward retirement. Oh, wait, stocks didn't work out. So if I get 4 rentals, my retirement will be better. And then you're like, wow, this actually one rental at a time thing works. I'll just keep adding. And you grew a thing. Most of us mere mortals had years or are in years and just found a YouTube channel like this where we're thinking, wait, and I'll relate it to, and there might be a few gamers watching. You buy a new video game. And the first few days, you kind of wander around in this game and you go, okay, what am I supposed to do? How does this work? Oh, that's interesting. That was fun. And then you realize there's an end goal. And if I do these things, I get to the end goal faster. I progress faster. And so the missing season is we have 2 financial lives. And the second one starts the day you realize you only have 1 financial life. You have to get out of just goofing off, living for the weekend, not saving for retirement, not buying investments. How many people do we know outside of the investors, go to friends and family and neighbors who they say, I couldn't own a rental, or I don't want to own stocks. That's like gambling, and crypto is too volatile. They've heard a catchphrase that says it's safe for me to do nothing. The Crash Bros said, wait a year and I'll be fine. So I honestly hope this helps develop the 4 seasons.
So let me because I like where you're going with this, and it's certainly a missing element. So what I hear you saying, or how I translate it, is there is some moment, likely in season 2, at least as I've currently defined it, where there's a wake-up call. Because again, you can be in season 2, as I said, work 40 hours for 40 years, right? And you may never have that wake-up call moment. So there is some moment in season 2, and maybe you're right. Maybe that maybe that's the start of season 3, is when you have that wake up moment. I like it. There's something there.
And you were right. Yeah. The majority of people don't have the wake up call. In other words, you wouldn't have 48% of Americans between 55 and 65 have 0 saved for retirement. There's an article that came out earlier that I just saw when I was scrolling on making $1,200 a month on Social Security makes it very hard to survive at 72. Well, no kidding. That would make
Yeah.
it hard to survive at any age.
Agreed.
30 years ago, it would have made it hard. That should not be your plan, to retire on just Social Security.
No, I agree. All right. Thank you. This is very helpful. There's a moment. I don't know if it's, see, let me play this out just because we got a couple more minutes. I do think it's a moment. It's an event. It's an epiphany. It's a light bulb. I don't think it's a season, because again, to me, seasons are years. This is a cold water thrown on your face. This is a moment. At least that's how I see it. But Dion, you're playing with this. What do you think?
Yeah, so I don't think it's a season to move out of your parents' house, and I don't think it's a season to retire. Right? I think there's that moment, you hit this age, I move out. There's this moment that can happen at any age or not happen, that changes us from the season 2 of the F off years to the financially focused years.
Yeah.
Okay. To the retired. If you have that, you get the retired years.
Got it.
And some people skip the retired years and they go right to, the 74-year-old Walmart greeter that isn't there because they want social exchange and they want to be out in the public. It hurts to get out of bed. It hurts to stand there. It hurts to be there, and they don't want to, but they like to eat.
Yeah, it's crazy. Matt, what do you think? Interesting tweak?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think there's I think the 4 seasons is correct. I think that in those 4 seasons, there is inclining and declining. And I think the inclining is I'm on the right path, I'm doing the right thing, or so it appears. And then, you get your result, and then it may take you to another season, or that might just be, hey, I finally got in that job. I was in mediocre jobs. Now I'm finally in a great job. And that's where I'm going to be for 30 years because that's what I want to do. I think that we all hit that point, or hopefully we all hit that point in life where there then becomes the realization that you want something different. This isn't it. And you have to shift and make change.
Yeah.
And it's that, whether you want to or not, your parents likely want you out of their house.
Yes.
So for all the trolls of you in this video, you can point that at me. But they likely want you gone. And then the other piece is then you're working and you're getting into that job. And you know what? I worked in telemarketing. My telemarketing job didn't define me. I turned that into a inside rep job, then turned that into a field job. Then turned that into a director job or manager, then director, then VP, then EVP. So that entire process from telemarketer to EVP was 17 years. And I did it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Right?
That's pretty quick.
17 years from telemarketing, because no degree, and that will hold that against you, but no degree. They have to know you. They have to have experienced your rainmaking. But telemarketer to EVP in 17 years. That's a short time. I could have given up at any point, but I was trending in the right direction. But all the while, I'm working on rentals on the side because I don't want to finish there. That's not that's not the end of my story. So I think that seasonality thing is absolutely right. And then it's just a matter of how you describe, because eventually people, you hope, get to the straw that breaks the camel's back. I got to do something different, because that's what happened to Dion. Dion was like, damn, got to do something different. Like,
I remember my damn moment too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So guys, this has been a lot of fun. If you guys haven't gone to Think Media podcast, both of these young men have now been featured on Sean Cannell's Think Media podcast.
Awesome.
And we just saw Matt's episode. It was awesome.
It
does a little tear jerky in the first couple of minutes talking about what was going on, but yeah, it was a great job, guys. I appreciate it. Real quick, Dion, where can they find you?
Right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom. And you can find the free binder course on getting your tenants to ask you to raise the rent at diontalk.com.
There you go. And Matt, congratulations again.
Thanks, pal. Oh, you set it all up. I just sat there and got interviewed by an unbelievable interviewer. And I'm just like, man, I can't believe we just asked that. But yeah, sure, I'll answer anything. Like, he just gets in that trance. I was like, I just got out of there and I was like, thank God nothing was like hugely embarrassing. I was like, so that was good. But yeah, Sean was awesome. And you set all that up, and you really take care of, you do a great job of taking care of the people that help out the community. So I appreciate that. But Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube.
You got it, guys. Take care. Thanks.